Hi, this is Lisa from Endorphina Creative with your weekly stressless class. And today I welcome you to this art therapy stress reduction class utilizing our imagination and creativity for deliberate relaxation and stress reduction. Whether or not you're considering yourself as a creative or an artist, please know that every single individual has a capacity for creativity and for artistic self-expression. And when we're talking about art therapy, it is really important to take note of the fact that our end result does not have to look a certain way. It does not have to be good enough to hang in an art gallery or to impress other people. The main purpose in art therapy is that we use the creative expression as an avenue for finding relaxation and for finding some inner calm and for allowing our brain to relax so that we can receive solutions for our life and answers to our questions. When I talk about creative self-expression and imagination, this includes many different artistic disciplines. So you will have to feel within yourself which creative outlet is the best for your personality, for your individual style and preference. And even though this class is an art therapy class, I would like to mention just a few other forms of creative self-expression that you can utilize. Some of you might like to sing, and singing or songwriting is such a beautiful way for self-expression and to lift our spirits. So this is definitely a great choice for stress reduction. Whoever is really talented at crafting and using their hands, drawing, painting, pottery, or scrapbooking might appeal. And those are also really excellent choices. Writing or journaling are, of course, also avenues for creative self-expression. I would only suggest here that the nonverbal forms of self-expression like drawing or singing or dancing are much more effective when it comes to stress reduction because they involve our thoughts less and actually give our mind a rest. So the more time you spend away from verbalizing through words and language, the better for relaxation. However, I know some individuals get into a really creative flow when they're writing, and so writing and journaling would also be excellent practices to incorporate into your life on a much more regular basis. And as I've already mentioned here, dancing and movement are also wonderful avenues for creative self-expression. For today's class, you will need a sheet of paper. It can be A4 or A3, and any kind of drawing utensils that you have available. These can be colored pens or crayons. If you're using A3, you can also use watercolors. And if you only have a single pen of just one color, feel free to also use this pen. There's not really any rule about what you can or can't use for this drawing class. And once you've set up your workplace, I will guide you in this class through 4 different drawing exercises, which is why we will place our sheet of paper in front of us horizontally, and we will divide it into 4 equal parts by drawing a horizontal line and a vertical line. So we do have 4 squares of similar size. And I will give you instructions for each one of these 4 exercises, and then I will allow some time for you to complete this exercise. And I will give you plenty of time so you can really deeply engage with the drawing process, because that is really our main goal here, that you activate an inner relaxation response. Before I will guide you into our first drawing exercise, I will just simply invite you to sit in a comfortable position and to close your eyes for a moment, just to arrive in the present tense here, in this here now moment, and just simply feel into your body, how your body is feeling. And also sense into your emotional body, just recognizing if there are any emotions present right now, and whatever they are, allow them to be. And I'm inviting you to take a deep breath in and breathing out. And again, taking a deep breath in and breathing out, letting go of any tension or stress you're holding. And once more, breathe in and let go on your out breath. And now I'm inviting you to breathe in and hold your breath for a few moments and breathe out until your lungs are emptied, and hold your breath for a few counts. And again, breathe in on 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Breathe out. Hold your breath. Breathe in. Hold your breath. And breathe out. And just continue breathing normally as you usually would. And just simply notice what your stress levels are at the moment. And if you had to estimate how stressed you are, give yourself a score on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 is no stress at all, completely stressless. And 10 is very, very high anxiety and stress. So just give yourself a number of where you are right now. And you can write that number down or simply remember it. And we will test this again at the end of our class and see if your score has shifted in any way. And now we begin with our first drawing exercise. And for this exercise, I would like you to briefly focus on any stress or tension that you carry. Simply sense into your body how that feels on a physical level, how any stress feels on an emotional level, how your mental stress is going, how many thoughts there are, how fast they move, how much anxiety there is, if there is any anxiety. And just assign a color to your stress. The first color that comes to mind. It can also be multiple colors. And perhaps you can see your stress as a shape in this color. And simply notice what kind of shape it is, whether it is a recognizable shape or whether it is just a faint outline of a shape in that color. And once you have a good feeling of how this stress feels to you, I would like you to imagine what the opposite of this is. What is the opposite of that color? And you don't have to solve this in a mental way. Just simply use your imagination to come up with an opposite color, the color that would represent the opposite to you. And then also intuitively think of an opposite shape compared to the shape your stress is in now. And for our first drawing exercise, I will invite you to explore the opposite of your stress. You can include or incorporate the color or shape that we have just imagined, but you can also completely wipe that blank and simply explore what the opposite representation of your stress would be. So for example, if you're feeling very, very tense and it is some sort of dark shape or dark, heavy feeling, you may want to explore an element of lightness and perhaps find a symbol or a shape or any other visual representation to represent this. Or you can also utilize colors if you have them available. So the task is to simply explore the opposite of the stress that you're feeling or tension that you're feeling right now. And please do not judge or criticize anything that you're drawing. Just really allow yourself to engage in what I call free flow drawing, exploring the opposite of your stress state in whichever form that comes out. That is completely up to you. You have my full permission to engage simply with doodling or simply using different colors in random abstract shapes, or you can represent it in any other recognizable visual shape or form. So for this exercise, exploring the opposite of your stress, I will give you 10 minutes time. So really engage your feeling states with this, really deeply explore what the opposite of your stress is. And once we are finished this task, I will guide you into our next exercise. So for this first exercise, use the first square that you have available on your paper. now slowly come to an end with this first drawing, and take a moment to look at your drawing, to look at the image, and just take in the feeling of this, any kind of association that you have, any kind of ideas that come into your mind, seeing what you have drawn, simply observing. And now imagine that you would describe your drawing to someone who's blind, somebody who can't see, and imagine what you would say to convey the meaning and the look of what you've just drawn. Just take a moment to reflect on that. And now I will guide you into our second exercise. And this exercise is about creating a symbol, a symbolic representation of something that calms you deeply. And I invite you to simply close your eyes and reflect. What calms you? What has a soothing, calming effect of you? It might be a person, it might be an animal, it might be an activity, it might be nature, it might be a memory, it might be a color, it might be a train of thought, and it could also be something else. So simply reflect on what calms you most and why. Why is this experience or this person or this animal or this activity calming to you? What about it is calming? And if you cannot think of anything that calms you, imagine something that could have the capacity to calm you. We can create a fairy tale character or a mentor like Yoda in Star Wars, or any other association that you might have. And I'm inviting you to represent this symbol of calmness now in that second square on your sheet of paper. And it does not have to be a direct representation. For example, someone might be calmed by their cat. And you can choose to draw the cat into the second square in your on your sheet of paper, or you may also go a little bit further and think about what about the cat is so calming. So it could be that the cat has a lot of serenity or has a lot of inner peace, and you could find a symbol that represents that represents these qualities. Or you could find the softness of the cat or the purring of the cat really calming and soothing. And so in this case, you would find a symbol representation for this feeling state that you get when the cat purrs or you touch the soft fur. So simply think of something that calms you, whether you create it with your mind or whether it is actually something that exists in your life. It could also be something entirely fictional. Think about what it is that calms you exactly, what it is about that person or activity that is so calming, and then create in your second square a symbol that will remind you of the reason why it is calming you. So as always, do not judge what comes out. You can simply follow your intuition and your instinct. And as before, I will give you 10 minutes for this task. And now for our third task, our third drawing task, for which we will utilize the third square on our paper. I would like to instruct you to create a flower with a center and 6 petals around the center. And this flower can be as big that it fills out this third square, and make the petals big enough that you could potentially write in them or color in them. And yeah, take a moment to do this now, to draw this flower. Simply the outline will do, and you can draw round petals or in any shapes that these petals come up for you. And I will call this exercise the relaxation flower exercise. And once you have drawn the outline of this flower, I invite you to find 6 words that relax you, 6 associations that relax you, and write 1 word into each of these flower petals. And once you have found a word for each one of these flower petals, I invite you to either color these flowers or draw little symbols or shapes into these flowers. You can create patterns or doodle into these flower patterns in a way that match the word that you have written into each one of these petals. And for that I will give you a few minutes, and then I will instruct you what to do about our flower center. And now complete your flower petals. And we're going to draw our attention to the center of the flower. And in this center, we are going to also write one word, and this is a word about you. And I would like you to perhaps close your eyes and reflect what is calming about you. What other people could perceive as calming or soothing or relaxing about you. Think of a quality and just don't overthink it. Choose the first quality that comes to mind and then write this quality into the center of this flower. And again, take a few moments to color or decorate the center and also the outside of this flower. So I will also give you a few moments for that. And now for our last part of our drawing exercise for today, we're going to focus on the fourth square that is still blank on our sheet of paper. And here you can really freely explore through drawing, using your imagination and creativity, who you are when you are completely relaxed. And I'm not saying here that you have to draw yourself, even though you can, but represent yourself in a relaxed state through color or shapes or doodling or through any other representation that you can think of. And as always, there's no judgment here. Simply close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, who am I when I'm completely relaxed? And if you're somebody who is tense all the time, use your imagination and ask yourself, who would I be if I could relax completely? Who would you allow yourself to be if you were living in the world where relaxation was a top priority? and now come to an end, or you can also choose to continue with this drawing exercise and explore other aspects of states of relaxation or calm in your own time. And you can also choose to do any of these tasks or exercises on a daily basis, or at least on a regular basis, because your result that you're drawing and the colors you choose and the shapes that appear will always be different. They will never be the same, as we are all constantly changing from day to day. So simply find ways to engage your creativity more often, use your imagination, and any of you who are already drawing on a regular basis, make sure that you're deliberately focusing much more on the intention to relax when you are engaging with your creative exercise. Thank you so much for listening. Look out for my next pre-recorded stressless class, and until then, take good care and happy drawing.